Hey everybody, it's Beth at Yoga Bliss. Thanks so much for joining me today. I just want to say hello, check in on how you're doing, and to welcome you to June. As we inch closer to the summer solstice and we're experiencing these wonderful glimpses of warmer weather and more sunshine, it's the perfect time to be outside and playing in whatever capacity you can. I know Maddie and I have been riding our bikes almost every day and getting outside to play. We set up a badminton set in the backyard and have been playing ball and hide and seek. And it's just really that playfulness of hanging outside with her has just really infused with me a sense of playfulness in my yoga practice. And I think it's really important to remind ourselves that our practice is really important on so many levels, for our body, for our mind, for our heart, for our spirit, but that it doesn't always have to be serious, right? That we should be able to find time to play and explore and be curious in our practice and to find joy in it. So I just wanted to share with you today a practice and invite you in the spirit of playfulness and curiosity and exploration to join me without any real big agenda, without looking to arrive anywhere in your practice, but really just to play around and see what happens. So I think a strap would be a great tool to have today if you have it. Some kind of belt. If you don't have a yoga strap, like get the belt off your robe or whatever, get the dog's leash, whatever you have. And let's hop on to the mat. And I love to start lying down. And come onto your back. Your feet a little wider than your hips. Let your knees fall in towards each other, assuming that feels okay in your body. A little internal rotation of the thighs. And then let your arms crisscross over your chest like you're giving yourself a big bear hug, and let your fingers and hands relax. And just take a couple of moments to feel your feet on the earth. To feel the back of your pelvis on the earth. Feel the back of your rib cage and the back of your skull on the earth. And then start to bring your attention to your breath. And see if you can notice any breath in the front of your body. Feeling the lungs expanding down and up. And front. And see if you can start to feel any breath in the sides of your waist and your rib cage. So you feel the lungs expanding side to side. And see if you can feel any breath in the back of your body, your lungs expanding backward here. And the next time you breathe in, let your arms spread wide, let your fingers open wide like big bear claws. And then cross your arms and put the other arm on top and continue to hang out with your breath, just seeing if you can feel your breath breathing you 360 degrees around. And then the next time you inhale, let your arms stretch up to the sky. Let your legs stretch up to the sky and make little circles through your ankles and your wrists. And circle them the other way. And then go ahead and bend your knees and let your feet return to the earth. Let your arms relax to a comfortable place to the sides, maybe out like a T. And make sure you have room on either side of you and above your head and below your feet. And let your feet step again about max width-ish. And the next time you exhale, let your knees fall to the left. Little windshield wiper twist, only going as far as feels good in your hip and in your knees. Breathe your knees back up and fall them to the right. So just playing around here. Little internal rotation. In this case, as I go to the left, a little internal rotation on the right thigh, a little external rotation on the left thigh. Breathe your knees back up and fall them in the other direction. We'll go one more time each side. Just letting your knees flop in a little windshield wiper to one direction. And breathe up and just letting them release over in the other direction. Go ahead and breathe your knees back up. And then organize your feet maybe about hips width, just so you feel stable. And let your arms blossom out to the side like a T. And turn your arms so the palms face up. Again, make sure you have room, which is why I'm scooching around. You're going to keep the feet on the ground, keep the back of your pelvis anchored and the back of your rib cage anchored so that the ribs are soft, front ribs are soft. And as you inhale, let your arms sweep up alongside your ears. You see how far you can take them, keeping either the backs of your hands on the earth or the thumbs on the earth. The minute your arms come off the earth, then I'd like you to back up till the hands are on the earth. And then as you exhale, sweep your arms all the way out and down, trying to keep the backs of the hands on the ground. Then breathe in, big snow angels. Take the arms up, front ribs stay soft. Exhale and snow angel them down. And just do that a couple more times. Letting the arms slide around on the ground, making these snow angels. Just feeling the movement of your arm bones and your shoulder sockets. And take it one more time. And go ahead and draw your knees one by one into your chest. Take a moment before you do anything else just to feel the residue of moving your arms around like that. And then take your hands one on top of the other on your knees and just do a little rocking side to side on the back of your pelvis. Rock it a couple of times, right to left. And then you can stay with that. If you want to add the knees in a little bit, you can make little circles with your knees. You can make them go in the same direction, or you can make them go in opposite directions. Just feel the arms moving and the knees moving, or rather the thighs moving with your hands on the knees. As you're here rocking around like this, just imagine yourself like a dog on the rug or on the grass, scratching its back. But then let this movement gradually cease. Bring your legs together, hold your shins. And when you're ready to exhale, curl up small like a little ball. And take a few rockings and rolling on your back. If that's not working, you can roll side to side. But otherwise, rocking and rolling on your back till you come all the way up to sit. And now we're going to shift out onto your hands and your knees. And spread your fingers super wide, like you have, again, those big bear paws. Set your hands under your shoulders and give a push of the ground away. And your hips right over your knees. Get this nice solid table. And then without lifting any portion of your hands, trying to hug your upper arms towards each other, so you're trying to find that external rotation. Just be mindful if you have a little hyperextension in your elbow like I do, that you put a little micro bend in your elbow straight back, it will point. And then when you breathe in, you're going to push the ground away. And when you breathe out, you're going to curl your tail under and round through your spine, heavy your head, make a cat pose. Then as you breathe in, reverse it. Let the tail lift up toward the sky. Crawl a little back bend through the spine. Make a cow. Keep pushing the ground away. Exhale, curling around like a Halloween cat. Noises are optional, so you can totally make some meow sounds here. Breathe in, make that little back bend. You can totally make a moo sound, right? You're in your house. You can do whatever you want. Go ahead and curl and round. One more time into cat. Breathe into the little back bend of cow. And then from here, dial it back toward a neutral spine. Find that feeling of stability as you spread the fingers and push the ground away. And then take your right arm and reach it straight up in front of you with the thumb faced up and feel all the strength in this left arm and the stability in the left shoulder. Again, being mindful you're not locking out that elbow. And then put that hand back down. Really glue it into the earth, right out into your fingerprints. You can go ahead and slip your left arm up, thumb facing up, right alongside your ear. And then lower it down. Glue your hands, your fingerprints into the earth. Right? It's like you were the walk of fame and you're putting your hands in that cement. And take your right leg straight up and back behind you. So feel that heel reaching back, feel the thigh lifting, and then lift on up, keeping your leg super parallel. And then bring that back underneath you. Same on the left side. Tuck the left toes under, lift the left knee. Feel the lift of that thigh as you reach through the heel, and then lift your leg on up, only as high as about your hip, super parallel. Keep that supportive abdominal muscles. And then bring your knee back underneath you. Now let's put it all together. As you breathe in, reach your right arm out in front of you, thumb faced up, nice and strong through your left arm. Exhale and lift your left leg straight up and back behind you. Take a breath in. Imagine this is also called bird dog, so I'd love for you to imagine that you're like a pointer, right? Pointing out where the bird is. And then go ahead and slide it back down. Inhale your left arm straight out in front of you, the thumb faced up. Push the ground away through that right arm. As you exhale, lift your right leg straight up and back behind you. Good. Feel your breath. Feel the expansion from your heel through your fingers. And then lower everything back down. Now again, you're going to work to keep those fingers nice and spread, that external rotation of your arms pushing the ground away. And then what would happen if you took your left hand and your right knee and walked it forward? And then your right hand and your left knee and walked it forward. So you're just a little crawling on your knees, right? Kind of like you did when you were a baby. Just starting to feel those little moments of balance as you lift one hand and one knee. Starting to coordinate that movement of hand and knee together. And take it back. Maybe it would be fun to take it to the side. I don't know. Can you do opposite hand and knee, or is it got to be same hand and knee? Just play for a second. Maybe it could be opposite hand and knee. Sure, why not? Then make your way back to table. Again, spread the fingers, press the earth, hug your arms. Now curl your toes under and lift your knees, but keep them kind of low to the earth. You're really stealthy here. And walk forward. Opposite hand and foot. Right, stay nice and low, kind of slinky, like a panther stalking its prey. Maybe you try same hand and same foot. See what that's about. And again, maybe you try side to side. And then start to walk toward the front of your mat. When your hands get to the front of your mat, let your feet catch up. Oh, and let yourself hang like a rag doll. You can have a little bend in your knees. And take a nice long deep breath in. And maybe a little sigh on out might feel really great. And one more time, big breath in. Now as you inhale, slide your hands way up into your thighs, long spine. Go ahead and engage your abdominals lightly. Ground through your heels. Bring the pelvis up to bring your spine up. Now go ahead and grab your strap. And Find your hands at the edges of whatever strap, belt you're using, scarf, and then wind it in till your arms are a little wider than shoulder width. Let your feet step a little wider than hips width, and you can turn the toes and the thighs out a little bit. And so we're going to be making this sort of sweeping kayak motion with the arms, but with the legs we're going to be doing like a little side lunge. And so we're going to try to coordinate those movements. So we're going to bend the right knee and dip your left arm up and over, then bend your left knee and dip your right arm up and over. And so you're just going to keep kayaking away through the upper body and side lunging through the lower body. Just getting that nice whole body movement. Maybe you play around with keeping the elbows nice and straight. So really bring this into the back of the waist, the back of the shoulder, all the way from the feet, all the way up. And your head can go with you. You can go as low as you would like. Maybe you want to take it up high. See what that's all about. Right, so just let yourself have a little time to explore. Right, remember, there's no one goal we're getting out. You're just trying to feel a little bit of freedom and joy in your movement, a little warmth. Good, take it around just a couple more times. And then we'll come back to center. Again, just notice the way it feels to just move and breathe. So kind of hang out with the residue of what you're doing. And then we'll find our way toward what we know as a Tadasana, mountain pose. So let's set the feet about hip point distance apart. Make sure your kneecaps are pointing forward. And then set your weight, the weight of your pelvis, a little bit back toward your heels, or towards your ankles, more accurately. And then let your rib cage set on top of that. So again, there's that light feeling, not gripping the abdominals, just a light engagement. And then as you breathe in, let's reach the arms forward with the thumbs faced up and take them up alongside your ear. Now as you do that, notice if your ribs want to pop forward. Can you let the arms move without the rib cage? Draw the rib cage or the abdominal muscles in just a little bit so you contain the rib cage. And ground through your feet a lot. Lengthen up through your fingers. And maybe you make a little arching back. So you shine your face, your heart right up to the sky. Take a big breath in. And as you exhale, bring yourself back to mountain pose. Feel the strength of your legs rooting down in your mountain. As you breathe in, reach your arms forward. When you breathe out, bend your knees and sit back like you're sitting in a nice big cushy chair. Push down into your heels, come all the way on up. You can draw your elbows right back. Keep the front ribs in. Exhale, sit into that cushy chair. Let's do that again. Breathe in, come on up. Exhale and sit. And then just pause here. As you draw the hips back, keep the pelvis pretty neutral, the spine pretty neutral. So you're not overarching the back, you're not tucking the tail, you're right in the middle. Breathe your hands to your heart. As you exhale, let's step the right foot back into a lunge. So you can feel that lift of the thigh, that reach through the heel. Stay nice and steady in this left leg, your left knee pointing forward. And the next time you exhale, step it forward into your squat. Take a breath in. And your squat can be as high as you need it to be. The left leg's going to step back. Reach up through the thigh, out through the heel. Right knee pointing forward. Step it into your squat. Right? It could be low, it could be a little higher. As you inhale, scoop both arms up right alongside your ear. And then go ahead, make a little back bend here. Lift your heart, shine your face to the heart, to the sky. Breathe your hands to your heart. Next time you inhale, scoop both arms forward, thumbs face up. Exhale into your squat. Press down into your heels, come on up. Big breath in. And exhale into your squat. Pause in your squat. Breathe your hands to your heart. Step your right leg back. Lower your right knee to the earth. And see if you can bring your left knee to the ground. Now, if it's too much, you can have blocks on your hands, under your hands, to do that. If it's available, sit on your heels. Otherwise, you can stay up. And then from here, your right foot is going to step forward. You're going to lift on up, step your right foot forward. Keep a little heaviness in the tail as you glide the weight forward. Breathe your way back. Exhale into Vajrasana, or stay standing on your knees. Breathe into your tabletop. Press the earth away. Tuck your toes. Lift your knee, plank pose. See and feel that lift of the thighs, that reach of the heel. Nice strong plank. And then as you exhale, you can lower the knees, untuck the toes. Lower all the way down. Inhale, roll the heart open, baby cobra. Lighten up your hands. Exhale, lower down. Breathe in, bend your knees. Press your way back up to Vajrasana, or standing on your knees. Breathe in, rise up. As you exhale, step your right foot forward. Keep that right foot pointing forward. Step your left foot forward. Breathe in, reach your arms forward. Sit into your squat. Inhale, press down to come on up. Exhale into your squat. Now stay in your squat. Breathe your hands to prayer. Step your left leg back. Place your knee on the ground. Either standing or sitting, Vajrasana. Breathe in, up on your knees. Exhale, your left foot steps forward. Tail is heavy. Glide the weight forward. Breathe your way back. Exhale into Vajrasana. Breathe your way into plank pose. Keep everything you've been working on, the strength of the legs, the pushing the weight of the earth, the hug of the upper arms. Even draw your chin a little towards your throat and lower down in one straight line or with the knees first. Breathe in nice and slinky to your cobra. And now stay in your cobra and lift your legs straight up. So all of the muscles in the back are working. Take one more breath into your rib cage and lower everything down. Breathe in, hands under your shoulders, bend your knees. Lift on up, have a seat. Breathe in, rise up, and step your left foot forward. And then we'll step right on into Tadasana. Breathe your arms forward. Exhale, bend your knees into that squat. Breathe in, come on up to stand. Exhale into your nice cushy chair. Maybe you're gonna watch a movie. Breathe your hands to your heart. Step your right leg back. Put your knee on the earth. Come to sit, Vajrasana. Breathe in, rise up. Step your right foot forward. Tail is heavy. Hinge the weight forward. Now spring back and have a seat. Breathe your way into plank pose, and if that's too much, you could stay hands and knees and lower all the way down. Roll the shoulders back, lift the heart, lift the legs, even the hands, and lower everything down. Breathe in, bend your knees, toes to the sky, press up. But this time, curl the toes under, lift on up, downward facing dog. Your fingers spread, push the ground away, hug your upper arms so you feel the strength of those arms. Draw back through your thighs and down through your heels. So you feel almost like a suspension bridge, right? You're so light lifting up through the hips. Let's see if you can breathe both knees to the earth and have a sit. And from here, let your feet swing off to the left. And you're going to take your bottom leg, your right leg, inch it forward. Maybe it's parallel to the front edge of your mat. Maybe. Slide your left leg back. This might be parallel to the front of your mat, and maybe this knee is at a 90-degree angle. In that vicinity. Don't worry if it's not. You're going to take your hands behind you like little support beams. Push the ground away. Now you're going to use your feet. Press into the big toe mound as you take this left thigh from a little inward rotation to external rotation. Then press into your toes here as you move the right leg from external rotation to internal rotation, trying to find more or less that shape on this side. Now press into your big toe and the rest of your toes. Press into your pinky toes and the rest of your toes as you transition back to the front side, first side. Then ground through the toes, wiggle through the edges of the feet as you externally rotate your back left thigh and internally rotate your right thigh. Then one more time. Start to externally rotate your right thigh. Start to internally rotate your left thigh. And here you are, back where we started. Bring your knees back together. Let's even roll up with or without your hands into Vajrasana. Beautiful. Go ahead and breathe in. As you exhale, step your right foot forward, knee point straight ahead to come all the way up to stand. Breathe your arms forward. Bend your knees, sit back. Inhale, come on up. Exhale, sit back into your squat. Breathe your hands to your heart. Step your left leg back. Lower the knees down. Come into standing or Vajrasana. Breathe in, rise up. Step your left foot forward. Keep that tail a little heavy as you hinge or glide the weight forward. Spring back. Have a seat. Inhale to your hands and your knees, or rather into plank, and then lower all the way down. As you inhale, roll the shoulders back, lift the heart and the hands, lift the legs, that you're flying here, and lower everything down. Breathe in, bend your knees, press up, curl the toes under, downward dog. And feel your breath. Feel as if you could be suspended from your hips. Super light. Maybe even here you find that breath 360 degrees around you. Now see, can you land both knees on the earth at the same time? And then swing your feet over to the right so you're sitting on the left hip. And we're going to take that same shape that we did a minute ago, with the left leg being sort of in front, or the lead leg, and the right leg back. Again, whatever version of this your body will allow. Right, we don't sit like this that often. And we certainly don't work a lot of external or internal rotation in yoga. So let's try it. You can use the hands for support, or you can play around without using the hands. That can be really fun too. I like moving like this because I kind of feel like a spider, right? Even though I don't like spiders. They kind of move really interestingly to me. So see if you can start to move from your feet through your legs. And notice in your body what else gets involved, right? Do you round through your spine? Can you keep a nice sitting upright feel? Right, I tend to round in my spine. So it might be nice for me to work on trying to keep my spine elongated, right? So see what happens. We'll come back to the left side. Glide the legs together. Shift back up so you're on your knees in Vajrasana. We're going to breathe in, come up to stand. Step your left foot forward, knee pointing straight ahead. Come all the way up to stand. Let's return to Tadasana. The weight in your heels, so you feel your pelvis right over your ankles. Toes and the balls of your feet certainly have the weight, but they're not taking the brunt of the weight. And you have like, 15%. Now pick up your right heel. Without moving your pelvis around, just rotate your thigh in the hip socket outward. And then glue your heel to your ankle. And then slide your foot up to like a low tree. And if balance is off, keep the toes on the earth, doesn't matter. And you're going to sink into your left hip like you're waiting for the bus. And then contract that outer left hip and bring it back into neutral. Again, sink into it, contract it, and sink in, and contract. So if your foot's off the earth, you might start to feel this working a little bit more. And check it in one more time. So see if you can imagine your hips staying where they are, and you can invite your tree a little higher. Keep the weight in your standing heel. And then you've got this beautiful tree. Add in some branches. It's been glorious here in Western Mass, but super windy. So imagine your tree limbs are starting to get some wind through them. And just let yourself explore what happens, right? So big deal, you fall down, right? What happens when you move your arms around? What happens if you keep your gaze fixed in one place and you move things around? What happens if you let your gaze move with your arms? Right? And it's no big deal if your foot falls. It might be good to practice falling, right? I trip often over Maddie's toys and 2 dogs. So it can be really good to practice falling and finding your way. Good. Take a moment more with your exploration. And then if you like to feel your fullness of your tree pose, come back to center. Bring your pelvis back over your standing ankle. Ground through your standing foot. Imagine the big tree roots, like of an oak tree, settling deep into the earth. Let your breath get nice and steady. And then we'll bring this knee forward. Step your foot down. Now let's check it in on the other side. Pick up your left heel. Try not to let the pelvis get pulled to the left. Just rotate the thigh out to whatever extent it does. And then you can put your heel up above your ankle or foot just against your inner shin. And then go ahead. Let your hips sink out. Contract and bring it back in. So just trying to find these muscles, right? Fire them up a little bit. And then we'll arrive, sink it one more time. We'll arrive back in a proper tree, right? Vriksasana, whatever that is for you. You can bring your foot up to your inner thigh if you like. And then find your drishti, your gaze. Settle the weight of your pelvis over your standing ankle. And then I'm already falling, so whenever you like, you can extend your branches out to the sides, up. Maybe the arms move independently, maybe they move together. So play around with that. Feel the strength of your standing leg and that outer hip supporting you. Again, just see when you let your gaze go rather, does that change things? If you make particular movements, is it easier? Is it harder? Take a moment more to play with your expression, your exploration, your curiosity. And then we'll come back to tree as we know it and practice it. Just to feel the steadiness and the stability. And then we'll bring that knee forward. Step your foot on down. All right. Come back to the top of your mat. As you breathe in, reach your arms forward. Rise your arms on up without the ribcage lifting. And then contract through the spinal muscles. Create a little bitty back bend, opening the heart toward the sky, shining your heart light up. As you exhale, draw your hands to prayer. And let yourself hinge from your hips all the way over. Bend your knees enough that your palms can flatten on the earth. And either step, or maybe you take a little hop, a little jump into downward dog. However you get there, you get there. And then breathe your way forward into plank. Shoulders right over your wrists. Push the ground away without lifting the hands. Hug the upper arms in. And then bring your right knee forward and start to make a little twist and outstretch your right foot through your left arm. Now you can stay here. You can lift your left arm up. You can lift this foot on up. And then we'll retrace our steps to come back. Okay? You're in plank. Bring your left knee forward. Start to twist. Outstretch that left leg. Maybe you lift the right arm up, but keep the strength and stability of that left arm. come on back to plank. If that's too much, put the left knee on the earth, or bring both knees down, spin the left heel to the ground, pick your left arm up, and come back to hands and knees. Outstretch the right leg, spin the heel down, pick the right arm up. So you're working the nice stability and strength in that shoulder, but also you're working some core, some abdominals. Let's check it in again, wherever you're working. Maybe you spin it through with the right foot forward. Maybe you spin it through with the left foot, reaching nice and strong. Now the next time you come through with your right foot, step your foot to the earth, put your left hand down, keep spinning, 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 till maybe you come into a little crab shape, a reverse table. Push down into your hands and your feet, lift your bum. One of my favorite games as a kid was crab soccer. So go ahead and walk yourself forward, like you're going after that big, huge crab soccer ball. Walk it back. Maybe you walk it to the side. Just feeling the hands and the feet, finding this coordination. Maybe you give a kick, like you're kicking that soccer ball. Maybe you're kicking like a rocket. I don't know. Right? So let yourself have a few moments to explore here what all this movement could be. And when you're done your exploration, you could set your bum down, or it might be fun to pivot back. So I'm going to turn my right arm out so my fingertips point behind me and do a little spin and come back down. Great, you guys. Go ahead and bring the bottoms of your feet together. And you can sit up on a blanket if you have one, or roll the edge of your mat in a couple of times, just so you can let your pelvis elevate. As you bring the soles of the feet together, your thighs will rotate out. You can have blankets under here if you need it. And then I'd love for you to hinge forward, only as far as you can hinge. And I'm going to let you decide, A, how close you'd like your heels, or how far forward you'd like them. And then from your hinge, when you can't hinge, just let your head release. Let your upper back release. Imagine yourself like a little turtle curled in its shell. And when you're in this shape all curled in on yourself, you really start to turn your attention in. Just feel your breath. What's available to you in this shape? And sometime in the next breath or two, walk yourself back up. Bring your knees together and shift back. So you can shift your padding off, shift back onto your back. And just take a moment here to settle, just the way you began. The back of the pelvis on the earth, back of the rib cage, back of the skull. Continue just to watch the rhythm of your breath. And just take a moment to outstretch the legs if that feels nice to your body. You could also put a blanket under your knees if that feels nice. But just take a moment to let yourself settle. And I know that I, as a kid, used to like to hang out on the hood of an old car of ours and watch the clouds, sometimes just watching them pass by, sometimes just looking at them, seeing the designs I can make. I always was looking for dogs and horses. So maybe you'd like to imagine your clouds. And just like the clouds float by, let your thoughts float by. You're welcome to stay here and rest a little bit longer. You're also welcome to come on out at any point. But I hope you enjoy just moving and breathing in a new way and just having a new experience for your body. And I hope you'll continue to keep moving and keep a playful attitude with your practice, reminding yourself that it's so important to have a mindful movement practice, and it's also important to have fun with it and not make it so serious. So thanks for joining me. I'd love to hear your comments. If you like the video, give us a thumbs up. Also subscribe if you haven't already. All right, gang, thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day, your night. Namaste, and I will see you soon.